people think that somehow Ricky and I are endorsing Rockbusters, that somehow by allowing it on the show, somehow we think it's good or we appreciate it. And I need to point out that it's more like when a child comes back from school and they've done a painting.
Yeah.
It's crap.
Yeah.
But of course you've got to stick it on the fridge.
bigger than the house.
You've got to stick it on the fridge because otherwise the kids going to get upset.
In this next episode, you've got to remember the cat is bigger than the house.
Exactly.
Okay.
It doesn't look like anything.
The humans don't have bodies, their legs come straight from their head.
Yeah. Mummy and Daddy.
Please welcome to the stage, Karl Pilkington's Rockbusters.
Right. Right, so, cryptic clues, initials,
cryptic.
and you work it out and you email in and that.
Yeah.
First one.
Yeah.
Don't be stealing my tools. Take your sister's. Alright, and the initials NK.
Don't be stealing my tools, take my sister's.
Yeah, so that's like the cryptic clue, and the initials of the artist or band is NK, right? Second one. Buy it if you want, not bothered, think about it. Come back, right? Come back if you want.
Start again, Karl! I know last halfway through! Right, start that second one again!
Right, well, you can back...
It's different! Well, the first one was, buy it if one, now this one was, yeah, well, write it down, buy it. Right, do it. If it's a cryptic clue, all the letters count. Do it.
Buy it if you want, I'm not that bothered, you know. Think about it, come back, check some other places out first before you know...
That was a crossword clue! In the Times! So we've got no time for other clues. Right.
So that's SC.
Right, do that clue again.
Buy it if you want, I'm not fussed, do you know what I mean? Think about it.
Fast has made an appearance! Fast wasn't there before! Do the clue again. Do the clue again!
Initials SC for that one.
Do the clue again.
I don't want to do it again.
You haven't finished it yet?
I have, that's it.
No, do the clue again.
I can't do it again.
Do the clue again.
Well, buy it if you want, I'm not fussed, right? Shop around. Come back. It's up to you. I'm not pushing you into anything.
It's up to you, wasn't there?
SC for that one, right? And the final one, that's good, I can play 10-pin bowling again. Do you remember that story about 3 or 4 years ago, where there was some bloke in the army, he went away to somewhere, Vietnam or whatever, he was messing about in the woods,
Messing about in the woods? Shouldn't he have been fighting?
whatever,
Yeah.
right, and he walked through some lake, and I think he'd cut his toe or something on something, and some worm of some sort crawled in the gash.
Yeah.
And it was in his body, and the doctor said, we've got to get this out of your body. So what they did was, they said, right, the thinnest part or something of your body that things can crawl through is on the top of your head. So they wrapped
Where the skull is.
So they wrapped some bacon.
No, they didn't!
They did! That's
oh,
that
right.
thing. Everyone...
So he's gone in by the toe. So what we do is, I'll tell you what, that worm's probably heading straight for the head. We'll put a bit of bacon on it. The thinnest part of the body is the skull. Of course it's not the thinnest part of the body. It's where your brain case is, isn't it? It's the skull.
There was a reason for it. And it was like they stuck some bacon on his head. And
as ever, the vital piece of information, i.e. the reason, Karl seems to have forgotten.
Because the worm was in his body, and they said everyone likes to smell of bacon.
Including worms. Even a Vietnamese lake worm. They love bacon.
Remember last week when I said about the little fella with the bone with no brain, and you were proved wrong?
No. We were saying it wasn't a little fella. We were saying it was a stillborn child. It wasn't a little fella.
You're changing it now. You weren't having any of it last week.
Right, hang on a minute. I'm getting confused. There was a Vietnamese snake that went inside of a soldier.
A little, like, maggot or some sort that you have to get out of your body because it causes problems.
Yes, and so in order to get it out of the body, they strapped bacon to his head.
Yeah.
That is great. This doctor. And did that work?
I think so. They had a picture of him smiling. First one was, that fella likes sucking on iron.
Yeah.
Right? The initial was M.
Yeah.
What was the band? It was Metal Liquor. Alright.
What's Metal Liquor? No, wait, I've never heard of a band, Metal Liquor.
Metallica.
You said Metal Liquor, I don't understand.
Yeah, Metal Liquor, Metallica.
What? No, say it again and try and make Metallica sound like Metal Liquor.
Metallica. Metallica. Metallica.
Is he having a fit? Say it again. Make Metallica sound like metal liquor.
Metallica.
Carl, any more? Oh, tell that story that you were telling me about your dad when he was driving.
Well, it's just that you were talking about, well, I mentioned Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And, the Forrest Gump types. When my dad was when he was a taxi driver.
Yeah.
You used to have to, sort of do your bit for the local area.
Oh, God.
By taking the Forrest Gump people to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called now, the Forrest Gump people? Is that what the organisations that support them ask for them to be referred to?
A minibus with Life is a Box of Chocolates.com.
Well,
Forrest Gump types.
It must be, so you work with these people?
It was,
yeah, the people with learning difficulties.
Yeah, and they used to get 5.
Coming home must have been a busman's holiday.
So he got 5 of them in the cab.
Yeah.
And he had to go to Blackpool, and 4 of them were really good, you know, behaving themselves, didn't mess about, weren't fighting and stuff, but there was one who was just causing loads of trouble and he couldn't control him.
Oh,
and what you've got to be able to do with people like that, you don't want them to get stressed out because it's not good for them. It stresses them out, and you could end up with a bit
Thanks, Dr. Carl.
you could end up with a bit of a riot on your hands. So he thought, I'll nip this one in the bud right now. And he pulled up just on the outskirts of Blackpool, and he took the one out that was causing problems and put it in a wheelie bin.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise.
He did what?
Oh,
He did it for the good of the others. He put it in a wheelie bin. It was having a good time. It thought it was one of the rides.
Can you stop saying it?
Him.
Yeah.
He was having a good time, and once he calmed down, my dad went back and picked him up, and he was fine. He had a good time.
What, he left him in there the whole time the others were in Blackpool?
No, he left him there, not the whole day, probably about an hour and a half.
In a wheelie bin?
In a wheelie bin.
Why couldn't he get out?
Because, like, his arms were trapped on the thing. It's one of those
What, he tied him up?
No, do you know, like, because he was a big fella, and, like, he managed to get him in so his arms were down the side like that, so he was a bit trapped.
Wasn't he screaming and crying and stuff?
He was making a bit of noise, but, do you know what I mean?
What, you feel served him right?
Well, but anyway, I didn't really want to talk about it. He just brought it up because of Forrest Gump.
Did his, family know about this? Is this the first time they'd have heard about this?
He didn't get asked to do it again. Because he had another problem similar to it where he had a little minibus, and it was his job to take a load of old women to the bingo hall, and it was miles away. And he took him there. There was no problem. About 10 old women in a minibus.
One of them was causing trouble, so he pulled over.
No, right. So he took him there. Everything's fine. He dropped him off. They had a lovely night.
Yeah.
Right. They had a lovely night. Won a bit of cash. Coming back, it's a bit of a late night, and they all started moaning at him, going, "I want to be dropped off here. Take me there. I want to be dropped off first. I've got to get up early. Blah blah. You know, my husband's expecting me. I'm already late. Take me here first. Take me there." And he just pulled up in the middle of nowhere. Said, "Get out." And he made them get out, and they all called for taxis. They charged that company who was meant to be taking him home in the minibus, and he got the sack. But a similar sort of story. You can't be dealing with it when people don't sort of just calm down and, like, solve the situation.
Yeah.
They're just all like, "I want to be dropped off first, take me here first, take me..."
Yeah, so he acts like a madman.
You're like this. Peter the Great, you ever heard of Peter the Great?
No.
Okay, well anyway, Peter the Great had his wife's lover
Oh.
executed.
You'll love this, Carl.
Right, so his wife had a lover, he had him executed, and he put his head into a jar of alcohol, and his wife had to keep it in her bedroom. Do you understand? That's every time every morning she'd wake up, and there was her lover's head in a jar.
Who took his head off? He took his own head off.
Play a record.
Play a record!
She had a lover, and oh, never mind. Never mind.